I will explain this to details. But not just that, I will also show you how you can get the correct answer, like how you can get the correct answer in an exam condition. Probably you have lost or you have forgotten during an exam. I will also show you easy way to get the correct answer, right? How you can guess correct answer in an exam conditions. Okay, all right, follow me as we tackle today's problem. We'll be looking at top 5 organic chemistry likely questions that could come out in organic chemistry in JAMB 2026. Okay, now these are the 5 questions we'll be considering in this class with the detailed explanations and easy way to get the correct answer as well. All right, the first question says that alkanoids are produced by the reaction of alkanols with. Now, this question is asking us that for us to produce an alkanoid, we must react alkanols with dash. Among these 4 options, there's one particular one that by the time we react alkanol, we react it with one particular one of them here. By the time you react it with one of them here, it will give us alkanoids. First of all, what is alkanoids and what is alkanols? Alkanoids, they are called esters in chemistry. The reactions that produce these alkanoids, it is called esterification reaction. Let me show you an example of what I'm trying to say. Okay, now alkanols, I will bring one example of alkanols. I will then react it with a compound. I'll bring one members of alkanols. Examples of alkanol is ethanol. You know, ethanol is under what? It's under the family of alkanols. Okay, so ethanol is C2H5OH. This is the formula for ethanols. Okay, now this ethanols, let me react with its ethanoic acid. This is the formula of ethanoic acid, CH3COOH. This is the formula of ethanoic acid. Now, I'm reacting this ethanols, that is alkanols, with ethanoic acid. Now, this ethanoic acid now is an example of alkanoic acid. Now, let me be specific. By the time you react alkanols with alkanoic acid, it will give you alkanoids. The correct answer is actually option A, but I'm going to explain to you how it comes about, how the reactions happens. Okay, now I've already picked one examples of alkanols to be this, that is ethanols, and pick one examples of alkanoic acid, which is e.g. ethanoic acid. Alkanoic is just like a general family name, just like alkane. Alkane, under alkane, you have propane, butane, pentane, betaine, ethane, like that. And this one too is just like a family name too. Under this, you have ethanols. Under this, you have ethanoic acid. Now, if I should react this and this together, how does this reactions happen? How does it happen? All right, for better understanding, permit me to erase this part so I can demonstrate it for you, how the reactions happen. Okay. Now, I'm reacting this and this together. Let's write it here. C2H5OH plus CH3COOH. Now, how does this reaction happen? By the time this one breaks, when it breaks, this will be negative, this will be positive. You know, of course, hydrogen, they are usually positive. Now, if this one too should break, we have a ion here. This is a ion. You know, of course, a ion, it's called hydroxide ion. You can see it's negative, and this will be positive. What will happen is that this positive will attract this negative, while this negative will attract this positive as well. So this positive now, being positive, will attract this negative. I hope you have not forgotten the law that says that unlike charges, they attract. That is, when the charges are not the same, positive and negative, they attract. Why? Like charges, such as positive and positive, they will repel, or negative and negative, they will do what? They will repel. So this one will match with this. When this one match with this, it will give us what we call, now we have something like this, CH3 COO. This one will then represent joining with this positive. It will give us C2H5. Okay, now plus. Now when this is the one that we are left with, and this they will then join together, this positive and negative. So the hydrogen of this plus this hydrogen will give us two hydrogen, giving us H2 and only one oxygen. Oh, which tells us that when you react ethanol, this is ethanol, when you react it with ethanoic acid, which is this, it forms what we call alkanoids. This one now is what we call ethylethanoate. Ethylethanoate. And ethylethanoate is an example member of alkanoic acid. So this reaction, actually, they can ask you, I actually came across it, that the reaction between, they can call it either alkanols and alkanoic. It's called dash A, esterification, B, polymerization, C, they can call it addition, like that. So the name of the reaction between alkanols or an alkanoic acid is called esterification what? Reaction. Esterification reaction. Esterification reaction. You like this. Esterification reaction. Okay, I hope you see the spelling correctly. Esterification reaction. Okay. All right. Now, this is called esterification reaction. Why this one is called ester? It is called what? Ester. The name of this is called ester. Ester. Okay, ester. Take note of that. It is called ester. All right. Now, another product that we have is what? Water. It's also produces what? Water. So the best option to this, option number A, is the correct answer to question number 1. Okay, now let's look at question number 2. Question number 2 says that an alkanoic acid is, this is trying to tell us that which of the following options is an alkanoic acid. Now, alkanoic acid, you don't need to stress yourself. You don't need to start wasting time to start developing or deriving anything here. Now, you know that alkanoic, when I was referring to alkanoic in question number 1 earlier, I choose this as an example, which is alkanoic. This tells us that alkanoic acid, it has a functional group of COOH. COOH. That is the functional group of alkanoic. So by the time you are talking about alkanoic or any member in alkanoic, there must be presence of COOH. Okay. Now looking at these options, we have OH here. It tells us that this is not alkanoic. It is what? Alkanols. When I was talking about alkanols, we have OH. Okay. So this is alkanol. This is not alkanoic. This is not alkanoic. Why? This one has a functional group of COOH. COOH, which is exactly the same thing as it. So the correct answer to that is option C. Question number 2, the correct answer is option C. Take note of that. For question number 3, waste plastic materials pollute the environment because they are. Now, first of all, you know plastics. The question is telling us that they produce the environment. Why? Why does plastic pollute the environment? Why? Is it because it is inflammable? You can see that some of these options, they are correct. They are almost correct. But you need to think very well. Why did they pollute? Is it because it is water insoluble? Is it because plastic does not soluble in water? Is that the reason? Are they not reactive? Is it because of that? No, it's because they are not biodegradable. What does the meaning of biodegradable? Non-biodegradable means, when you talk about non-biodegradable, means they don't decompose. Because if you check the question very well, it's talking about pollute environment. It's talking about environment. If you throw any plastic outside, they don't decompose. They don't decompose. Yeah, anything that does not decompose, we call them what? Non-biodegradable. But when you see something, they are called what? Non-biodegradable. But when you see something is decomposed, we call it biodegradable. Okay, so it's because they are non-biodegradable, and thus they accumulate in the soil. By the time you throw them outside, plenty, they will keep accumulating, but they don't decompose. That is why they form what? Environment pollution in the environment. Now, what I said maybe probably if you are given questions and you have forgotten, I want to explain to you how you can easily think right and guess the correct answer in an exam. Okay, now looking at question number 4 and 5. For question number 4 says the reactions between pentyne and bromine is called what? Now, first of all, from this pentyne, you can see I try to highlight this ion, which tells us that it is under where? It is under alkyne. You know, in alkyne, this is the form. This is alkyne. It's ended with YNE. So that ion tells us that it is a member of what? Alkyne. It is a member of alkyne. And I explained in some of the videos we have been doing so far about saturated, unsaturated compound. I explained those ones to details and the type of reaction they undergo, like the type of reaction alkynes, alkynes, cycloalkynes, even benzene. The type of the reaction they undergo, I explained them. I would advise you to check my other videos and for better understanding of some of all these things. Now, I will also show you something here. Says alkyne is an unsaturated compound. Why? Because alkyne has more than a single bond. So any compound that has like 2 or 3 bond, like alkenes, benzenes, they are unsaturated compound. They are unsaturated compound. An unsaturated compound, they undergo a type of reaction called addition reactions. So alkyne undergo addition reaction, alkene undergo addition reaction, benzene also undergo addition reaction. Why the one that is saturated compound, e.g. alkane, when we talk about alkane and the cycloform of alkane too, you know, for example, now we have pentane, we have cyclopentane, pentane. You know, they are still member of, one is alkane, one is cycloform of alkane. Like pentane is an alkane, why cyclopentane is called what? It is called cycloalkane. Okay, so both of them, they still have single bond. So because they have single bond, they are saturated what? Compound. And saturated compound, they undergo a reaction called substitution reaction. Called what? Substitution reaction. One we have to come in, one we have to come out. Let me demonstrate an example of substitution reaction for you. For example, suppose that CH4, which is a member of alkane, is reacting with chlorine as an example. Now, by the time it reacts with this chlorine, it will form substitution. You know the meaning of substitution means one will come out, one will go in. You substitute. So now what will happen is that one chlorine will come here, one hydrogen will join. So by the time one chlorine join, one hydrogen will have to leave. If one hydrogen leave, we are left with 3 hydrogen. We have CH3Cl, okay, plus. Now when one hydrogen leave this place, it will, you know, we have 2 chlorine here. One chlorine come like this, and one hydrogen join with the remaining chlorine, which is the remaining one chlorine that is left. So it will be CHCl. This reaction now, they are substituting each other, hydrogen and chlorine. It is called substitution what? Reaction. This is called that is, the chlorine here is 1, monochloromethane. Okay, so that is not where I'm actually going to. So take note of that alkanes having a single bond undergo substitution reaction. But what is special about benzene? Benzene actually is unsaturated, but its own is so special such that benzene does not only undergo addition reaction, it also undergoes substitution what? Reaction. But that is not where I'm going. I've already done videos on some of these things. You can kindly check them. Okay, so for question number 4, says pentyne and bromine, they undergo what? It is called, pentyne is an example of alkyne. So alkyne undergo what type of reaction? Addition reaction. So the correct answer to question number 4 is an addition reaction. That is option C, an addition reaction. Now for question number 5, suppose that you are in exam audition and maybe your teacher, like me, your tutor now, maybe I explained to you using question number 4. And another way they can twist question number 4 is looking at this question number 5 now. You know, it's good that you have the basic knowledge of chemistry. That is why in some of those questions I usually do, I explain to details such that by the time they twist it, you'll be able to make attempts and guess the correct answer. All right, looking at question number 5. Question number 5 is, I can say it's exactly the same thing as question number 4, but they bring it in another dimension. in another form, which you have to be very careful. Now, question says the reaction involved the decolorization of bromine vapor by ethyne is, now don't forget that ethyne is the same member with this one too. It ended with yne. They are the same member. This one tells us that it reacts with bromine. By the time it reacts with bromine, something happens. It decolorizes this bromine. See another way they twist the question now. Now, the decolorization of bromine vapor by ethyne is, they are asking you that when this ethyne decolorizes bromine, what type of reaction is that? You can see another way they try to twist this question. It is still what? Just think, even though if you are confused, maybe you don't know the decolorization of bromine or you have forgotten, but you see, because simply you have seen ethyne here, this ethyne, since you have already seen it and you know that ethyne is an unsaturated compound and it undergo addition what reaction, addition what reaction, you don't need to doubt, you don't need to waste your time, just pick addition reaction and move on. The correct answer to that is addition reaction. All right, I know definitely that you find the video helpful. Don't go like that without liking the video and comment and share it with your friends. All right, see you in my next class. Thank you very much for that.